Welcome to the first episode of Philip Makes Trash in 2 years. Today I'm going to be making a classic pasta dish, specifically tagliatelle alla carbonara. And I'm going to be doing it in the classic manner, using the classic ingredients, which was very troublesome getting a hold of, because guanciale is not something that's commonly available here in Denmark. C'est la vie. First of all, though, the named ingredient in the dish, I need to make pasta. So, I'm simply going to grab a bowl and get a bunch of flour. I'm going to be using around 400 grams of flour because that's what I've got eggs for. Question is if I've got flour for those eggs. It's just about right. And about 410 grams, so that works out all right. Make a little bowl in it. Ooh. These are borderline frozen. Should be interesting to see if they'll crack. Yeah. Very hard. So far so good. Whisk the eggs a bit, the first two. I will be adding 2 more. I will be doing so now. And while I do have more eggs, I will be saving those for the sauce. As is intended. The sauce will consist specifically of eggs and some lovely pecorino romano, a sheep cheese, salted heavily, which I quite look forward to using. And then of course the panned guanciale. Now you may ask, what is guanciale? Well, the substitute people use is bacon, as they are somewhat similar, but bacon is cut from the belly of the pig, whereas guanciale is the cheek. So has rather different composition, and supposedly the better one, albeit I have not had the chance to use it, as again, that entire cut is not something you usually find in Denmark. roughed it. So now we're going gritty. Just with the hand, make sure to have it all around. Get that nice fluffy texture until the dough is a silk. At which point I will let it set, and this video will magically skip in time for like an hour 42. We'll see. At least an hour, so that it may set, as that is good for the dough. This one, however, has a little bit of trouble setting, so I do have a spare egg, which I shall find fitting to use. I only need 3 for the sauce. Using a fork to whisk it better. This is starting to take a good shape. It's only gathering up the last of the flour. Tipo flour, in case such interests. Lovely music, is it not? It's amazing what you can find when you search deep and wide, or alternatively go to YouTube and search for Italian pasta music. Right, dough is ready to set. So I shall wash my hands, as the dough does get on your fingers and your hand in general. It does stick somewhat. This is intended behavior. Good thought. This one's certainly sticky, so that should be interesting for the end result. I'm sure it'll be grand. My hands are now burnt to a crisp. Our water was much warmer than I would expect. Right, I will now be picking up some, let's see, some clean film. My dough. So now I have this lovely thing. I will be putting it in the fridge that it may rest at a cool temperature. And see you later. Hello and welcome back to Philip Makes Trash, making carbonara. I have a dough which has now set in the fridge for a bit, about an hour, and it is ready to be worked with and turned into actual pasta. But first, there is something I need that will help me function better. Because I'm making food, and to accompany food, you have wine. So I have here a lovely dry red wine, which should make the experience all that much better. I need to get a new bottle opener because this one is frankly not good. Can't even get a hole under it. This is the part of the video where I embarrass myself by being seemingly unable to open a bottle of wine. Well, I know what I'm buying tomorrow, that's for sure. Rarely have I had one that was that bothersome though. A little bit sweeter than expected. Very decent indeed. And so, on that note, a bit of flour. This is unfortunately not the same kind of flour. I ran out of cocoa, so this is just pure wheat. However, it's not really much of a problem. Now it's just to make it not stick. It's not the actual main component of the dough, so it's fine. This music is not very pasta, but we'll get through it together. Let's see. Just gonna cut it into smaller lumps to work with. Since obviously, once you roll it out, it's going to get bigger. That's what she said. Oh God, I apologize. Usually like to start out with doing a really simple bit myself and then get out the rolling pin. Now, because I am a plebeian and not some wonderful Italian mama, I will be using a pasta machine. Some purists may call that cheating. I call it not really. It's a simple tool like any other, and it's not like it really automates that much. A bit optimistic on the space usage, but it'll be fine. Starting on a high setting, we will be crunching it down to a smaller size. Personally, I like to move it down to 2 to 3 millimeters in thickness. So not completely fine, but still pretty thin. I find that usually gives the most pleasant result. Important thing. Usually, this one works better if you remember to insert the handle. Funny how that goes. Look at it go. Also, a bonus of using a pasta machine is that you can have settings so that you do not end up just estimating how thin it will be, which is very practical for someone with poor eyesight, such as I. Fun fact, the glasses are not for show. Yeah. I think I will go with a bit thicker size this time, since for the carbonara this is obviously it's quite rich and it's not creamy or so because there's no cream in it. It does have that sort of slightly thick consistency, which I personally believe goes better with some slightly thicker noodles, as they can sort of hold it better. Interesting. As well, it's a big cut. One proper tagliatelle, not some teeny weeny spaghetti. I shall prepare a bowl for holding the pasta, as I'd rather not save it on the floor. Cheers. However, this one will controllably long. So, slight incision. Shall make it all the more easy to have them cut neatly in a practical size, while not just sort of drawing together, as that can happen. I've unfortunately experienced that many times when I was first starting out making pasta. I assure you, the first time I made pasta, it was nary but a big blob of dough in the end. It still tasted good, mind you, but it was a bit unfortunate. So, when they are thicker, they also do tend to more easily stick together after they've been cut through. That's simply how physics works. Bigger contact area. There's no problem, I'm in no hurry. After I'm done cutting up all the pasta, I shall be taking a minor break, setting up, and then we start on the real fun. The actual carbonara part of the tagliatelle and carbonara. By the way, in case there was any sort of doubt, I am not in fact Italian. I am of Greek origin. Which I will probably also show off in a later video, now that I am back to doing food as well. Possibly start with something as simple as a lovely street given gyros, as I am quite fond of those. However, those should be done with either pork or lamb, and I prefer them with lamb, and lamb is not cheap here, is how I decide to put it. Again, just making sure that it does not stick. One of the added wonders of making your own pasta is the water you get from it, as it ends up containing usually a whole other level of starch. Well, why do you want that much starch? Well, for one thing, in this particular case, I can use it for the sauce. We give it a lot of texture, add to that extra creaminess that we want. Or creamy approximation, because there's no cream. I talked with my roommate earlier, who will also be consuming this delicious meal, as it will obviously turn out to be. And he did say, or rather ask, if I was going to be doing it right, or using some cream abomination. To which I of course replied, mate, I took out the time of my day to find out where I could get guanciale. I'm not exactly going to skimp on the rest. should add again, making your own pasta is quite simple. It's fun, and you get a surprisingly much better product out of it than you probably are used to from finished pastas. I mean, you probably at some point bought fresh pasta in the store when you wanted to be a bit fancy, and that's expensive. This is not. You can even make it without eggs and just do water if you want to do a vegan version. Or vegetarian as well, I suppose. I forget. Whether they count as being... I forget if eggs are vegetarian friendly, if they're the modified ones that won't carry child regardless. I can't exactly say I'm an expert on the area. Partially because I'm neither a vegetarian nor a vegan. Shocking, I know. That said, I probably will be making some vegetarian and vegan dishes in the future, because I do so every so often. I believe I already did a video where I made tomato sauce, which I often use when I make pasta for myself otherwise, because usually the minced meat just sort of detracts from the experience. It's my personal belief. But then, most of the time when you're getting minced meat, it's not exactly the brine cut used for it. And if you're going to be spending money on getting better minced meat, at that point you can ask yourself, why not just get a nice steak or some quality spiced sausages, an entrecôte maybe. There's many options, but I'd certainly prefer to expensive minced meat. To each their own. Not exactly going to judge others on their food tendencies, because that's rude. And we are not rude here. We are cooking. And cooking should be made with love. And love, while sometimes painful, usually is at least mannerly. There's your poetic saying of the day. Or night, depending on where you are and when you're watching this. Time zones, they're a magical thing. Here it is currently almost 6 p.m. which shouldn't come as the biggest surprise considering I'm cooking dinner. And, well, this should allow me to eat at, well, before 7 p.m. I'm hoping. That was the plan anyway. Not that I am in a particular hurry. I'm on vacation. Oh well, I'm not on vacation, I'm home. But I'm off from work. I must unfortunately admit that the dough did not end up perfect. I fear I did not knead it enough. Kneaded? I'm not quite certain on the pronunciation. Do correct me in the comments below, I guess. You too, It's quite wonderful music. I should listen to Italian pasta music more often. break from my usual repetigas. Well, there'll be a bit of lumpiness in this. I'm sure we'll live with it. So, how's your day been? You ready to eat, honey? I know I am. Candlelights, rosebud leaves, the whole shebang. Cheers. The one thing that truly annoys me about making pasta, more specifically just working with dough in general, is this whole sort of sticky mess you get out of it. As unfortunately, that means I have to take off my jewelry, my rings, my watch, my armband. Have to, it's perhaps a strong word, but it's a mess cleaning those up, I tell you what. And I do feel also naked without it, without them, all of them. But this is what they call suffering for your craft. I suffer for my craft. Because if you're not willing to do at least that much, then are you even trying? No, you're not. Again, this isn't really as much what I consider pasta music, and more what I guess it is kind of pasta music because it's from flippin' spaghetti western. This straight up Morricone. Wonderful musician, of course. I mean, Ennio Morricone is an inspiration to us all. But it's not the music I listen to when cooking. It's a very weird collection of music, really. This is rather unfortunate. Broke. Truly didn't need it enough. Well, I'll admit, it's not the best comeback anyone's ever made. I'm sure it'll be grand anyway. Taking it in high spirits. What else can you do? Not that it really means much of a waste since I made too much dough anyway. Anticipated damage control. Well, just These two and then the final roll. First time when it passed like this, I hung a thread throughout my room, which I then proceeded to use as a drying spot. Oh, that was too thick. Which worked well, and I got some really good pasta from it. A bit unfortunate about all the flour on the floor, but that's what happens. I'm starting to somewhat regret adding the extra egg. It's not completely busted, but there is more sticking than should be. Remember, kids, plenty of flour. Thank God for electric cleaning materials, because I am going to need to vacuum this floor quite a bit. I'll live. There are worse fates. That's one. Oh, this is just embarrassing at this point. thinning. Thinning, that just sounds morbid. Sticking a bit, but then mostly loose. Can't wait to see the end result because it's going to be something. Pretty good. I didn't waste too much. Nice. Cheers. I will now be doing a quick jump cut to, after having cleaned up this horrible mess, because that's not very interesting to look at this now. Oh, tell me if it is. And we're back for what is possibly the final stretch. I am now going to be cutting out my lovely guanciale, as well as grating this pecorino romano, the sheep cheese, which I did take a little pick off, and it's nice. It's quite good actually. I'm also going to be boiling the pan, of course. But since it's fresh pasta, it cooks fast. So, I need particularly worry about speed, but I just need to get the water boiling. But first things first, I will simply be grating some of the cheese. Good for this one. And I can wear jewelry now. Exciting, isn't it? So, most of this is going to be going into the sauce, but some of it is also just going to be to put on, to give that extra sauce. This is also something to note. The actual cheese itself is quite salty, so it doesn't need quite as much salt. Eye measurement because I can't be bothered to take out the weight. So I need about 1/3 of the total. Also, I changed the playlist because the other one, it was looping 2 hours my butt. Plus, too much of that loop was John Wayne. Again, I have nothing against it, I have no problem with it, it's just sort of a bit odd context. Very nice. Believe it or not, it's a very recent thing for me to eat cheese, so I still can't really do everything. And when I say recent, I mean like 4 weeks ago. Mostly the really salty ones. I'll be putting this aside for now, and then I will hope to God that my pasta doesn't stick too much. It's going to be something. It's going to be really, really bloppy. Hopefully it separates a little bit in the water, but it's going to be lumpy. I'll just pretend half of it is giant gnocchi. That counts, right? Good lord. So now, the second problem is the fact that I do not, in fact, have the big stove. So I'll have to live with it. I do, however, have a bigger cutting board than this, which I shall use for the guanciale, which I shall be cutting into big cubes. Slightly fat.
La tua voce è una musica dolce che suona per me. Volare. Oh.
I have no clue what this part is called in English, but sort of like the outer hard shell, which, fun fact, does not work particularly well in this kind of cooking at the very least. So I'm removing that. Cue someone screaming angrily at me. And then you cut into cubes the fat, which of course is not just fat, it has sustained some of the, well, it's not marinating, I forget the term, but it's drawn in from the smoking and spicing. So, by the way, if there was any sort of doubt, it should by now be very clear that I do not know what I am really doing. But what I will be doing now is preparing to cut this into cubes, after which I will be putting it on the pan with a nice olive oil. That one, however, is Greek, not Italian. So, again, someone's going to be shouting at me. But that's what I had available, and that's what I prefer. Plus, it's a really good oil. It's not one of the cheapest ones. I got it as a gift from my dear Papa when he last got home from visiting his mother in Greece.
Questa piccolissima serenata con un fil di voce si può cantare. Ogni innamorato all'innamorata.
The music's not very loud, but I can't really do much about that, sadly. Also, one might think, well, in case you didn't see it, aren't I cutting these into really big cubes? And yes, I am. But again, much of this is fat, so they're going to drastically reduce in size.
Tonight we dance away till tomorrow. We dance away. We dance and listen to the music.
This bowl wasn't remotely big enough.
Though we know the world is going crazy, but we don't care.
I should mention, my life is drastically different now than it was in the last video. I'm no longer a student. I finished my degree. I'm working full time now. Actually using my degree to some degree. Which is nice. So life's going good. If life is going good, then why is it taking me so long to get back to this channel? Well, as you may or may not be aware, I had my focus on my other channel, the beard chugging channel. Fancy as I am. Should be a big enough pan. I have a bigger one, but that one does not fit onto the area where I'm going to be using it.
I sing amore per dirti darling I love you. Sto inguaiato, ti amo very much. Purtroppo però non lo so dir. Do you capire? My love to dare solo un kiss. Io pregare tu credermi perché desidero te for me. Non sapendo Catari ne torna sorriento. Canto only you, solo per te. I sing amore.
This is going to become the sauce, which I need a bigger bowl for, because in addition to the cheese, a lot of egg as well. Slight mistake there. Something. I'm supposed to whisk the eggs before. This is the point where something very notable should be mentioned. There are people that do cooking channels where they teach you how to cook things. I do not. I simply cook things. I even have the audacity to look at recipes as I do. Because that's the kind of man I am. The man with no plan. A lot of harder eggs than the earlier ones. This is just annoying at this point.
Quando spunta la luna a mare chiara, fuori i pesci non ci fanno l'amore. S'arravoltano l'onda dell'umare, per la priezza cagnano colore. Quando spunta la luna a mare chiara non ci sta una finestra, la passione mia non ci tuzzoleia, lo garofano d'ora, in la testa passa l'acqua per sotto e murmura.
Whisking eggs.
mare chiara non ci sta una finestra. Chi dice che le stelle sono lucente non sa per socchio che tu tieni in fronte. Sti di stelle li sacci solamente l'intero cuore ne tenga mi ponte. Chi dice che le stelle sono lucente.
It's really quite a nice wine.
Scete da Carolica, l'aria è dolce, quando mai tanto tempo ha già aspettato, accompagna i suoni, con la voce stasera una chitarra ha già portata, scete da Carolica, l'aria è dolce.
Just need a little bit more.
Scete da Carolini, l'aria è dolce.
Because if you're not using a lot of oil, you're not cooking Mediterranean. If you're not cooking Mediterranean, well, I think it's easy. That burns good. That's not going to come easy. May have done them a bit too black. I know tits more for what I'm doing. You will have me in the kitchen.
Svegliati con il gallo, specchiati nel ruccello e bacia la tua compagna che t'accompagna col tuo marello. Ogni figliore è un fiore nato sulla collina, bacia in una dozzina, che felicità, e puoi godere la vita. E torna tua paesello che sei il più bello della città.
Adding the cheese to the egg.
Un sapore nostrano, profumo di pieno di grappoli e fior. E la sorgente pian piano mormora una carezza d'amore. Se vuoi godere la vita e vieni quasi in campagna, e tutta un'altra cosa, vedi il mondo color di rosa, quest'aria deliziosa non è l'aria della città. Svegliati con il gallo, specchiati nel ruccello e bacia la tua compagna che t'accompagna col tuo marello. Ogni figliore è un fiore, è nato sulla collina, bacia in una dozzina, che felicità, e vuoi godere la vita. Torna al tuo paesello che sei il più bello della città.
Oh, this is the first time I'm using guanciale, and the fat is burned in a completely different way from what I'm used to with bacon.
Guarda che luna
it's
Guarda che mare, da questa notte senza te dovrò restare, folle d'amore, vorrei morire, mentre la luna di lassù mi sta a guardare, resta soltanto tutto il rimpianto, perché ho peccato nel desiderarti tanto. Ora son solo a ricordare e vorrei poterti dire.
So this is the point where I look at the recipe and I realize I'm supposed to eat the eggs raw. Well, good thing we haven't had salmonella in Denmark in ages, right?
Ma guarda che luna, guarda che mare, in questa notte senza te vorrei morire, perché son solo a ricordare e vorrei poterti dire, guarda che luna, guarda che mare, guarda che luna, guarda che mare.
I'm going to get a result from this. I'm going to consume it. And I'm sure it'll be great. I think.
Sta lontana che sto cuore, a te volo co pensiero.
Charlie's almost.
Niente voglia, niente spera, che
I really look forward to this. I really look forward to this. I do not know how this is going to end up.
st'amore, come io sono sicura
Fingers crossed.
sei stato prima amore, o prima e l'ultimo sarai con me. Quanta notte non ti vedo, non ti sento in queste braccia, non ti raso che sta faccia, non ti stringe forte un braccio a me, ma se danno ma sti suona, ma fa piangere a volte. Vita mia, che sto cuore, sei stata o prima amore, o prima l'ultimo sarai con me.
In 2017, 16 people got salmonella. I think I can live with that risk. I think. Question is if my roommate can. I'm sure it'll be fine. Again, who let me into a kitchen? Forget the very important thing. For a little bit of extra taste, of course. Clever. Just finishing grinding. I I missed recording that, sadly.
Vaca distrattamente abbandonato, l'occhio sotto cappello ha nasconuto, ma in tasa che bava risata, vaca ci scanne stelle caso asciutto.
Lumped up.
E a luna rossa mi parli te, io le domando se aspetta a me, e mi risponde se io può sapere,
It'll taste nice.
che non c'è
Experience
sta
tells me that,
nessuno. Mi chiamo non mi poteva vedere, ma tutta gente che parli te, risponde tardi che vuoi sapere, che non c'è sta nessuno.
Quit washing his hands far away from
Luna rossa, chi mi sarà sincera,
sanitation.
luna rossa, se ne aiuta la tassera
Yeah,
senza
experience says that it'll still taste nice. It goes fine.
e dica
Just forgot to put in
ancora che
the flour, so it
aspetta a
says.
me, coro balcone stanotte 3,
Yeah, I
e
guess
preghezzando
giant not.
vede, ma non c'è sta nessuno.
My excuse is it's been a while since I've made pasta. Still an excuse. But, what are you gonna do?
Oh, luna rossa, chi mi sarà sincera, luna rossa, se ne aiuta la tassera senza me vedere, e dica ancora che aspetta a me, coro balcone stanotte 3, e preghe santa
I wonder
vede.
if I forget if I recorded the time I made sushi and it went horribly wrong. I'm doing sushi at the end of the month, probably. That unfortunately won't be recorded because reasons. Primarily that I'm not at home cooking. Where are you cooking? With friends. I told some people that I would go somewhere tomorrow if I'm not sick, so... Smells quite pleasant. I mean, a bit of egg with some cheese.
Per le strade che vanno su e giù,
Basically,
scogliere e sentierelli, pitturati
almost done.
di sole di blu. Qui sotto il cielo di Capri, com'è bello sognare, mentre mormora il mar. Qui tra spaglie di rose e di glicini in fior, paradiso e l'amor. Qui la vita, un'azzurra leggenda ti pare, tu dimentichi tutto il soffrire e dall'onde del chiaro lunar ti fai cullare. Qui sotto il cielo di Capri voglio vivere e amar, tutto il mondo scordare.
Quite wonderful. This is texturally, clearly quite a bit different from bacon. I mean, when you first look at it, it just looks like really fat bacon. This is completely different.
Qui la vita, un'azzurra leggenda ti pare, tu dimentichi tutto il soffrire e dall'onde nel chiaro lunare ti fai
This was probably 5 times as big to begin with.
sotto il cielo di Capri, voglio vivere e amare,
Best bad I ever taken.
tutto il mondo scordare.
Right. I'm going to end up with a
Carina, diventi tutti i giorni più carina,
very interesting song.
ma in fondo resti sempre una bambina che non conosce il dolce gioco dell'amore. Graziosa.
So the problem is here as well. It's better to cook the pasta until it's kind of al dente. This is the norm. That is going to be
Carina,
yeah. But it did split up some more.
sembri ancora più bella, tu sei la stella che manca in cielo. Perché carina, carina, carina sei tu, simpatica e dolce ogni giorno di più. E col tuo candore, carina, tu sei fatta per amare.
Late salt, but then so give it a few minutes and it'll be ready. Yeah, I think I am very prepared.
Carina, diventi tutti i giorni più carina, ma in fondo resti sempre una bambina che non conosce il dolce gioco dell'amore. Graziosa, nessuna donna al mondo è più graziosa, perché la tua boccuccia deliziosa, se vuole un bacio, non ha il coraggio di mentire. Carina, carina, a lei che spensierata sei carina, carina, ma con il broncio sembri ancor più bella, tu sei la stella che manca in cielo. Perché carina, carina, carina sei tu, simpatica e dolce ogni giorno di più, e col tuo candore, carina, tu sei fatta per me. Carina, carina.
Okay. So now we're taking the pasta along with the last of the water in it. Pour it on into the flame. That was probably a bit too much water. Yeah, that was definitely too much water. So now I'll drain this a bit. And this water has a lot of starch in it. So now, while this is still so warm, I'll be whisking this in. Because I will then be mixing in with the water around it. straight up the oil. Now, crazy thing, add the oil.
Ma le più belle le hai mandate tu. Fra tutti gli altri li ho riconosciuti. Mi ha fatto male pure i graditi. Son rose rosse, parlano d'amore. E grazie ancora che in questo giorno tu m'hai ricordata. Ma se l'amore nostro s'è perduto, perché vuoi tormentare il nostro cuore in mezzo a quelle rose?
Should be mixed up. God, that's good things the bowls are have good heat sustenance, I suppose. So now I grab
Grazie dei fiori, fra tutti gli altri li ho riconosciuti. Mi han fatto male pure li ho graditi. Son rose rosse, parlano d'amore.
pepper. And there you go. Oh God.